What's going on? It's your boy Sermon, the sermonsdomain.com. We're here to talk about 5 artists who'd fit on Compton. First, let me get this out of the way. Compton is a masterpiece. Dr. Dre crafted it in the eyes of what he wanted to do. But, as a human with an opinion, there's always, room for improvements, I guess, on our side at least. And I was just thinking, who did Dre not work with on this album that he could have or he should have? Or, who would have fit well to jump into, that Compton? And my first pick was J Rock. I feel like J Rock's aggression, his West Coast style, it's kind of dark. I feel like his storytelling would have fit well into like the album. In particular, I picked Loose Cannons as the record because it just felt like right after Exhibit, he would have went in and killed it right before, they had that skit where they killed the woman. My second pick is going to have to be 50 Cent. 50 Cent has never been on a Dr. Dre album. He's like one of the biggest artists that Dre has made, and he's not. He worked a lot on Detox, we know that, but as far as Compton, he's not on it. And I would have loved to have seen him appear on Medicine Man because it would have been nice to see Dre, M, and 50 on one track together again. The last time I think was that Crack a Bottle record, which was more silly than serious. And Medicine Man's a little bit serious. I would have loved to see 50, kind of reflecting on his career, kind of like how M was doing, like Dre does throughout the album. And I think it would have been a special moment. And speaking of special moments, my third pick is gonna have to be N.W.A. There's Ice Cube already on the album on Issues, but I would have loved to see MC Ren have a verse on it, and DJ Yella assist in the production like he used to in the N.W.A. days. And I don't know if there's anything Eazy-E related anywhere on this earth that's not that little snippet that was on Dark Side, but like a whole verse from Easy that nobody's ever heard. I would love to hear that, but I feel at this point we haven't got much unreleased Eazy-E over the years, so it's like maybe there's nothing, and maybe that's why there isn't anything more significant coming out. But I would love to have seen an N.W.A. reunion, even if they had to use Snoop again like they did with Chin Check. I love that record. My fourth pick is going to have to be Kanye West. And I'm going to not pick a song, but I'm going to say I want to restrict him to the production. Because, Kanye's a visionary, he's a perfectionist, and Dre's a visionary, he's a perfectionist. It's surprising that publicly the two haven't worked together. I mean, there's always that chance that they had some kind of secret sessions for Detox, because Dre worked with goddamn near everybody, man. Like Lil Wayne and stuff that you wouldn't have expected Dre to be doing over the years. He did, and Kanye is a name that they haven't worked together. So it would have been nice to see them mesh together in the studio, kind of like how you had Dre and DJ Premier, and you had them come together. It would have been cool to see, and maybe it still is a possibility one day. Maybe one day Kanye will, be on his next album and think, I need Dre on this album. Reach out and it'll happen. Who knows? My last pick, and probably one of the most requested artists, Nate Dogg. We know that there's unreleased Nate Dogg stuff because Warren G just put out his EP, and there's 4 4 Nate Dogg hooks on the record. So clearly there is, unreleased hooks. And I'm sure there's probably more than just those 4. So I would have loved to have seen, Dre call in a favor and got one of those hooks and made it feel like the old times. With that said, I'm not saying that Compton is not a good album. I'm just saying I would have loved to have seen some other stuff. And you can't do all this stuff. If they would have included all this, then they would have had to took, certain things off. But, we can dream, right? But I'd love to hear, 5 artists or even just one artist, any amount of artists that you would have loved to see on Compton and why. Let me know in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at sermonsdomain, and most importantly, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time, and until next time. Peace.